You ever stop and think how weird things are right now? I mean, we've got robots that can hold a full-blown conversation with you, but for some reason we can't build a simple, affordable house. Billionaires are making money faster than ever, and the rest of us are just staring at the price of eggs, wondering what happened. It really feels like there's a set of hidden rules running the game, doesn't it? Well, guess what? Today, we're going to go find them.
So, here's the plan. We're going to peel back the curtain on some of these invisible systems. We'll kick things off with something we all feel, our finances. Then we'll dive into the secret deals that control our tech, say hello to the coming robot workforce, dig up some of Earth's oldest secrets, and wrap it all up by tuning into the quiet signals our own bodies are sending us.
All right, first up, let's get right into it. The question that is probably on everyone's mind. Why does it feel like your wallet is so much lighter these days?
I mean, seriously, why is it almost impossible to build an affordable home? It's a question that's just haunting an entire generation, right? You look around, you see these giant, shiny luxury condos popping up everywhere, but where are the starter homes? Why does that simple dream of just having a place to call your own feel like it's slipping through our fingers?
Okay, so when you ask who's to blame, the usual suspect is Wall Street, right? These big investment firms buying up all the houses. And look, they definitely play a role. But the real hidden culprit, the thing that's quietly making everything worse, is something way less exciting, a super tangled web of government regulations and zoning laws.
And just how big of a deal is this web of regulations? Well, get this. If you want to build a new apartment building, a staggering, and I mean staggering, 40% of the total cost can come from government fees and red tape. That's before you've even laid a single brick.
And here's the kicker. A lot of those fees are flat fees. So it costs the same to get permits for a small, affordable starter home as it does for a giant luxury house. Now put yourself in the developer's shoes. You have to pay all these fees no matter what. What are you going to build? The small project with a tiny profit margin, or the huge luxury one where you can make your money back and then some? Yeah, exactly. That's why the market is flooded with high-end homes, and the affordable ones are practically a fantasy.
So that's one side of the coin, right? But while the rest of us are getting squeezed by costs, the super rich are playing a totally different game. It's like they're living in a different financial reality with a completely separate rulebook.
It's a three-step strategy, and it's totally legal. It's called buy, borrow, die. Here's how it works. Step 1, buy. You accumulate assets that go up in value, like stocks. Crucially, you don't pay any tax on those gains until you sell. Step 2, borrow. Need cash to live on? You just take out low-interest loans against your massive pile of assets. And guess what? Loans aren't considered income, so no tax. And finally, step 3, die. When you pass away, your heirs inherit everything. The tax man basically hits a reset button on the value of those assets, so all that growth during your lifetime, tax-free. It's an incredible hidden system for building fortunes without ever paying income tax.
Okay, so these kinds of hidden systems aren't just for rich individuals. They get way, way bigger. They scale up to the corporate level, creating these ghost deals that literally shape the technology you and I use every single day.
I mean, we all know Google is search, right? 90% of the market. But a monopoly that big doesn't just happen, and it sure doesn't stick around by accident. You have to actively protect it. So, how do they do it?
Well, a big part of the answer comes down to one absolutely massive number: $20 billion. That's with a B. That's reportedly how much Google pays Apple every single year. And what for? Just to make sure Google is the default search engine on every single iPhone.
And to put that number into perspective, this is not just some small business expense. In 2020, that single payment from Google made up almost 20% of Apple's entire operating profit. Let that sink in. It's this huge hidden partnership that benefits both of them immensely.
But here's the real kicker. This deal apparently comes with some serious strings attached, what you might call golden handcuffs. The contract basically says that Apple, one of the only companies in the world that could actually compete with Google in search, is not allowed. They're contractually blocked from even trying to build their own search engine. It's a perfect example of an unseen force just stamping out competition before it even has a chance to start.
So, these deals, these hidden rules, they're basically the software running our digital lives. But what happens when that software, when that powerful AI gets a physical body, when it can walk around and interact with the real world?
Well, say hello to Figure 01.
This is not some clunky pre-programmed factory arm. This is a humanoid robot, and its brain is powered by OpenAI. It can see the world, it can talk to you, and it can actually reason about what it's doing. It was asked for something to eat, it looked at the table, and it figured out that the apple was the only edible thing. This is a massive, massive leap.
And if you're thinking, oh, that's just a cool science project, think again. Just look at the money behind this. We're talking Jeff Bezos, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Intel, OpenAI. The absolute biggest players in tech are pouring billions into this. They're all betting that this is the future of physical work. So it's not a question of if we'll see a robot workforce, it's just a question of when.
So everything we've talked about so far, the financial rules, the corporate deals, those are systems that we created. But now, let's zoom way, way out, because there are much older, much more powerful, unseen forces out there. The fundamental operating systems of our planet.
Think about the dinosaurs. The story we all learned in school is simple, right? A giant asteroid hit, and poof, they were gone. But it turns out the real story is way more complex. That asteroid, it was really just the knockout punch. For almost 1 million years before it even hit, a series of supervolcanoes in India were already erupting, slowly poisoning the atmosphere and killing off life. The planet was already sick. The asteroid just finished the job. It was a slow-motion catastrophe, a 1-2 punch from the Earth itself.
And these incredible planetary forces are not just ancient history. They're happening right now. Deep, deep down in the Earth's core, there's a giant ball of swirling molten metal, and it's generating a huge, invisible magnetic field that surrounds the entire globe.
And you've probably interacted with this force without even thinking about it. You know how a compass works? That needle isn't magic. It's just a tiny little magnet that's literally being pulled and aligned by that massive planetary force. No batteries, no satellites, just a direct physical connection to an invisible power that's running our world. Okay, so we've gone from the global economy all the way down to the Earth's core. Now let's zoom into the most personal, hidden system of all, the one inside our own bodies. A system that's constantly talking to us, even if we've forgotten how to listen.
Let's take your kidneys, for example. They just work away silently in the background. But what happens if you take away a major stressor, like, say, added sugar for 30 days? Well, there's a fascinating story that unfolds. The first few days are rough. Your brain fights back with cravings. But then, after about 2 weeks, something amazing happens. Your blood pressure starts to drop. By week 3, the little filters inside your kidneys literally begin to heal themselves. And by the end of the month, key markers for inflammation throughout your body are way down. It's like your body was sending out an SOS, and the moment you gave it a break, it knew exactly how to start the repairs.
So, what's the big takeaway here? From the hidden rules that make housing so expensive, to the invisible deals between tech giants, to the planetary force that moves a compass, all the way down to the signals inside your own body, our world is absolutely governed by these unseen forces. But here's the crucial part. They're not magic. They're not unknowable. And once you learn to see them, once you understand the script they're following, you gain a kind of superpower. You can start navigating the world in a whole new way.
And that really leaves us with one last thought. Now that your eyes are open to these things, now that you know to look for them, what other invisible scripts do you think are running your world?